Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Renu Tyagi from Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi. Today we will be discussing about the module Forces of Evolution from the paper Human Origin and Evolution. The learning objective of this module are to understand about the evolution and the genetic variation, to know the factors which affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, to understand the impact of the natural selection on organism, to understand the importance of the mutation, recombination, genetic drift on the evolution. Now let's briefly discuss about the concept of evolution. Evolution is an incredibly common phenomena and may occur between generations for every group of organisms in the world, including the humans. Over a period of time, the relative proportion of the allele in the population changes. Some may increase and some may decrease, and still other may remain the same. This picture illustrates the evolutionary process of the men. Darwin described evolution as the gradual unfolding of the new varieties of the life from the previous forms over a long period of the time due to the evolutionary processes. But these long-term effects can only come out by accumulation of the many small evolutionary changes occurring in every generation. Today we will study the evolutionary changes occurring between the generations, and we are able to demonstrate how evolution works. We define the evolution from the modern genetic perspective as a change in the allele frequency from one generation to the next generation. Allele frequencies are the numerical indicators of the genetic makeup of a population, and the population is referred to as the interbreeding group of the individual. An inherited trait may be proceed in slightly different form in different individuals. The variant genes that underlie these differences forms in inherited trait are called the alleles. The different expression of the inherited traits is the result of the genetic variation within a population. The frequencies for the combination of the genes represent the proportion of the total, and hence allele frequencies refer to only the whole group of the individual, that is the population. Individuals do not have the allele frequencies, they have the gene or the combination of these genes. Therefore, an individual cannot evolve, only a group of individuals can evolve over the time. This picture shows the different genetic variation of the wing of the moth. Genetic variation is the morphological or physiological changes in an organism that takes place due to change in the genetic composition or in the environment. This picture shows the variation in the beak of the birds. If there are no variation in an individual, then they will not be able to adapt accordingly within the changing environment and ultimately die. The presence of the variability ensures the fitness of the individual who are well adapted to that environment due to their heritable qualities in the population. The interaction of the variation and the natural selection cause evolution to occur. Now let's understand the Hardy-Weinberg principle. This principle states that allele frequencies in a populations are stable and is constant from generation to generation. The gene pool, that is the total genes and their allele in a population, remains constant. This is called as the genetic equilibrium. The sum total of all the allelic frequencies is 1. For example, in a diploid individual, P and Q represents the frequency of the allele capital A and small a. The frequency of the capital A individual in a population is simply P square. Similarly, the frequency of the small a is Q square, and of the small a capital A is 2PQ. This is a binomial expansion of the P plus Q whole square. When frequency calculated or measured differs from the expected values, the difference, that is the direction, indicates the extent of the evolutionary change. Disturbances in the genetic equilibrium or the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, that is change in the frequency of the allele in a population, would then be interpreted as resulting in the evolution. Now let's understand the forces that affect the Hardy-Weinberg principle. The various forces that are known to affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium and cause the genetic variability within a population are: number 1, mutation. The pre-existing advantageous mutations when selected results in the formation of a new phenotype. The next force is gene migration or the gene flow. It is the transfer of the genes between the population and differ genetically from one another but can interbreed. When migration of a section of a population to another population occurs, the gene frequency changes in the original as well as in the new population. The new genes added to the new population and these are lost from the old population. The third force is the genetic drift. It is the change in the gene frequency which is purely as a matter of chance. The smaller population have the greater chances for the genetic drift. The next force is the genetic recombination. The exchange of the genetic material provides new combination of the genes, especially in the large population with large gene pool. Therefore, new combination of the old genes produce the new combination of the characters in the organisms and adds to the genetic variability. The next force is the natural selection. It is the process in which the heritable variation enabling the beta survival to reproduce and leave the greater number of progeny. Thus, the occurrence of the variation due to mutation or recombination during the gametogenesis or due to gene flow or genetic drift results in the change in the frequency of genes that allele in future generation. This figure illustrates the various factors affecting the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Mutation is an actual alteration in the genetic material. It is a change in the basic sequence of the DNA. For such change to have evolutionary significance, they must occur in the sex cells which are passed on between the generations. Evolution is a change in the allelic frequency between generations. If mutation do not occur in the sex cells, either the egg or the sperm, they will not be passed on to the next generation and no evolutionary changes can take place. This figure illustrates the mutation in a sickle cell. Geneticists often distinguish between two kinds of mutation, that is chromosomal aberrations, which may result in alteration in the amount of the position of the genetic material, and point mutation, which are the permanent heritable changes within a gene. Mutations occur frequently in the nature and have been reported in many organisms. In men, mutations cause the variations in hair color, skin pigmentation and sexual malformations. Usually, mutation bring about the changes in the genetic structure of a gene level. All these factors which bring about a change in the gene level are termed as the chromosomal aberrations. This figure illustrates a point mutation and different type of the chromosomal aberrations. Now let's understand the gene migration or gene flow. Migration is the movement of the gene from one population to the another. If all the individuals in a population do not choose their mates from within that group, significant changes in the allele frequencies could occur. If a change in the allelic frequency does take place, evolution will have occurred, this time by migration. Migration work both ways, that is changes in the genetic frequencies will be affected in both the cases of in-migration and out-migration. In humans, social rules more than any other factor determines the mating patterns, and cultural anthropologists must work closely with the physical anthropologist in order to isolate and measure this aspect of evolutionary change. Now let's understand what is genetic drift. The change in the frequency of the gene variants in a population due to the random selection factor in evolution is called the genetic drift. Since evolution occurs in the population, it is directly tied not only to the nature of the initial allele frequency of the population but to the size of the group as well. If in a population of say 100 individuals, 2 blood groups type O individuals are killed in an auto accident before completing the reproduction, their genes would have been removed from that population. The frequency of the O allele would have been reduced in the next generation and evolution would have occurred In this case, with only 100 individuals in the population, the change due to the accident would have altered the frequency of O in a noticeable way. If, however, the initial population had been very large, then the effect of removing a few individuals will be very small. Indeed, in fact, in a large size population, the random effect such as the traffic accidents would be balanced out by the equal possibilities of such events affecting all the other individuals with different genetic combination or different genotypes. Evolutionary changes due to the genetic drift is directly and inversely related to the population size. It is evident that the smaller is the population, the larger is the effect of the genetic drift. When considering the genetic drift, the genetic makeup of an individual in no way related to the chance happening that would affect their lives. If the individual, because of some such hereditary traits, dies early and produces the fewer offspring than the other individual, then this is not random genetic drift but a natural selection. This figure illustrates the process of genetic drift in a population where the gene frequency is changed. Now let's understand the genetic recombination. The phenomena and the process by which the genetic combination of the offsprings become different from the parental combination is called the recombination or the genetic recombination. Compared to the mutation, recombination has got the greatest role to produce variability. Mutation and gene flow or migration can produce the variability in a population with respect to the single gene. Recombination can combine the novel allele, which of the first are likely to be carried out by the different individuals in a single genotype. Furthermore, recombination can multiply the different gene types in the population. It converts a small initial stock of the multiple genes variation into a much greater amount of the genotype variability. This picture represents the recombination between two homologous chromosomes. Now let's understand the process of natural selection. The evolutionary forces such as the mutation, gene flow, genetic drift and recombination interact to produce the variation and to distribute the gene within and between the population. Genetic variations among individuals within a population result in the variation which influence the reproductive success, which ultimately leads to the increased number of the offspring. This natural selection, which selects the fittest genetic variant which is able to contribute more offspring to the succeeding generation, in fact natural selection is defined as the differential net reproductive success. Natural selection leads to the change in allele frequency relative to the specific environmental factor. If environmental changes, the selection pressure change as well. Such a functional shift in the allele frequency is referred to as the adaptation. If there are long-term environment changes in a consistent direction, then the allele frequency should also change gradually to each generation. If sustained for many generations, the results may be quite dramatic. This figure illustrates the theory of the evolution by natural selection, where it is denoted by the continuous process of the overpopulation, variation, selection and lastly the adaptation. Now let's see the unit of selection. Selection acts on individual. It is an individual who reproduce or do not reproduce and who continuously attempt to maximize their own reproductive successes. Thus, the individual and not the group is the unit of the selection. If the total reproductive success of all the members of a population continuously fails or falls below the replacement value, that is where the more individuals die than those who are born in a population, the population will become extinct. Individuals will attempt to maximize their own reproductive successes even in the face of such impending extinction. Overpopulation is the result of the individual maximizing their reproductive success. Even if such behavior means the whole group will perish, No special evolutionary mechanism exists to keep individuals from reproducing at their greatest capacity. Of course, humans have the potential to manipulate their number, and the entire world now faces the problem of controlling an exploding population. Evolution therefore has no built-in mechanism to guard against the extinction. Now let's see the unit of evolution. While selection acts on the individual, changes in the allele frequency occur between generations for an entire population, that is, an inbreeding group of the organism. The net result of all individual reproductive success, that is natural selection, in addition to the possible effect of the mutation, migration and genetic drift, will affect the entire population. The population then is the unit of evolution, and it is the population that changes from generation to the generation. Now let's understand the mode of selection. Depending upon the environmental changes, that is the rate at which the changes occur, like slow changes, abrupt changes or changes in the ecological diversity, the population is thrown to different environment and is hence selected accordingly. This sets the particular pattern of the selection, which is termed as the mode of selection. There are basically three modes of the selection: the directional selection, stabilizing selection, diversifying selection. Now let's understand the directional selection first. Selection pressure shifts as environmental pressure changes gradually. If the environmental pressure is directional, the selection should also be directional. For example, in the last 1 million years, there have been long period of the gradual cooling in the earth climate. One means of coping with the cold among the mammals has been increase in the body size. If we assume animals such as the mammoths to be descendant from the earlier smaller ancestors, how did they gradually get bigger in size? The answer lies in understanding the natural selection. Those animals with the genotype with large overall size perhaps resisted cold better, lived longer, nourished their offspring better and mate more often and so forth. In any case, the result was that they reproduced more successfully than other smaller individuals. As the climate continued to grow progressively, colder allele frequencies also continued to shift and average mammoth size gradually increased. This figure illustrates the directional selection from the original population. Now let's understand the second selection, that is the stabilizing selection. In this type of selection, those phenotypes in the center of the population distribution or the model varieties should have higher reproductive success, and those at either extremes will be selected against as long as the environmental remains stable. If we again choose size as a characteristics, we can note that some varieties of the turtle have not changed much from that of the previous generations. Therefore, the optimal phenotype is probably an average sized turtle, and those much larger or much smaller should be selected against. Now let's understand the diversifying selection. In the type of the selection, phenotypic variants at both extremes are favored and those in the center of the distributions are selected against. For example, in the case of the baboon size relative to the predation pressure, it may be advantageous to be small and less conspicuous or very large for the active defense. Over time, such selection pressure would act to create a twin peak which is bimodal phenotypic distributed in nature. In fact, such a process should not have long been effective in a fully reproducing population, since individuals of all sizes would be mating with each other, thus producing the individual with the intermediate body size. This figure illustrates the diversifying selection from the original population. Evolution at the species level need to be understood further. A species is defined as the group of the interbreeding organisms that are reproductively isolated and therefore cannot successfully interbred with the other species. The capacity to reproduce is the critical factor in defining the species. Theoretically, one can test whether two kinds of organisms are the member of the different species by observing their reproductive behavior. Under natural conditions, that is, who mate with whom, and by observing the results of the offsprings which are fertile. Actually, a species is composed of the subunits that are breeding communities which are called as the population. All members of a species potentially interbreed and some degree of the migration or interbreeding is theoretically possible between all population of that species. The ultimate result of all forces of the evolution acting on all populations determine the fate of that species as a whole. If sustained over a long period of time, the gradual changes in the allele frequencies between the member population can eventually lead to the sufficient genetic differences so that the fertile reproduction is no longer possible. We then may recognize a new form of the life having arisen from the one species, splitting and producing new species, a process called the speciation. If on the other hand, total reproductive success is so low that all or even most population become extinct, the whole species will be deemed and will disappear from the earth forever. Now let's summarize what we have learned in this module so far. Evolution is an incredibly common phenomena and may occur between the generations for every group of organisms in the world, including the humans. Over a period of time, the relative proportion of the allele in the population changes. Some may increase and some may decrease, and still others may remain the same. Genetic variation is the morphological or physiological changes in organisms that takes place due to change in the genetic composition or in the environment. Hardy-Weinberg principle highlights that the allele frequency in a population are stable and inconstant from generation to generation. The gene pool, that is the total gene and their allele in a population, remains constant, known as the genetic equilibrium. The sum total of all the allele frequencies is 1. For example, in a diploid individual, P and Q represents the frequency of allele capital A and allele small a. The frequency of capital A individual in a population is simply P square. Similarly, the frequency of the small a is Q square and that of small a capital A is 2PQ. Hence, according to the Hardy-Weinberg law, P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. This is a binomial expansion of P plus Q whole square. The various forces that are known to affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium and cause the genetic variability within a population are mutation, gene, migration, genetic drift, genetic recombination and natural selection. Mutations, which are the pre-existing advantageous mutations when selected, results in the formation of a new phenotype. Gene migration or gene flow is the transfer of the genes between the population that differ genetically from one another but can interbreed. When migration of a section of the population to another population occurs, the gene frequencies changes in the original as well as in the new population. New genes added to the new population, and these are how the old population changes. Genetic drift is the change in the gene frequency, which is purely as a matter of chance. The smaller population have the greater chances for the genetic drift. The genetic recombination is the exchange of the genetic material which provides the new combination of the genes, especially in the large population with larger gene pool. Thus, new combination of the old gene produces the new combination of the characters in the organisms and add to the genetic variability. Natural selection is the process in which the heritable variations enabling the better survival to reproduce and leave the greater number of the progeny. There are three models of the selections, that is directional selection, stabilizing selection and diversifying selection. A species is defined as a group of the interbreeding organisms that are reproducing isolated and therefore cannot successfully interbreed with the other species. The capacity to reproduce is the critical factor in defining the species. Theoretically, one can test whether two kinds of the organisms are member of the different species by observing their reproductive behavior under natural condition, and that observing that who mates with whom, and by observing the result of the offspring which are fertile. Thank you.